Today we go on the record at a time when history is watching. We are 1 year away from a pivotal election here in America. An election that will help decide whether we reclaim the values that have built this nation or allow them to fade into memory. Moments like this, they don't come often, and they definitely don't come quietly. They require clarity, courage, and people willing to take responsibility for the future of this nation. Michael Carbonara is one of those people. He is entering this race to represent Florida's 25th district, challenging longtime Democrat incumbent Debbie Wasserman Schultz. After nearly 2 decades in Congress, her time represents the old guard. And this is not just politics as usual. This is a crossroads. This is a moment where the voice of people demands to be heard again, where everyday Americans look at Washington and they say enough is enough. It is a time to restore integrity in our politics, to rebuild trust in our nation, and to return power to the people where it belongs. America was built by citizens who stood up when it mattered, who believed leadership was not a privilege but a responsibility. And Michael steps into that legacy, bringing the grit of a businessman, the heart of a servant leader, and the conviction of somebody who knows what is at stake for families, for faith, freedom, and for the future of this beautiful nation. This nation is calling for leaders who lead with courage, humility, and conviction. Leaders who build, protect, and steward what God has entrusted to us. Leaders who understand that authority is not seized, it is entrusted by the people and accountable before God. Michael Carbonara, welcome to the record. We are so honored to have you here today.
Thank you for having me today.
Well, thank you for sitting down with us. This is going to be a great conversation. We are nearly 1 year out from the elections next year, and you have a very unconventional story, and you are known by many of your supporters as the billionaire businessman. You're going from business, you're going to entrepreneurship, and now politics. So I would love to hear a little bit more about the Michael Carbonara story.
Thank you. Sure. Well, I've been an entrepreneur most of my life. It took me a while to realize I was an entrepreneur. Went to college, didn't work out for me, and eventually I found my calling in creating businesses. I found myself also over the years seeing the change in our country, and I think that all Americans have seen these changes, and especially the last 10 years, the corruption and the career politicians have been pretty widespread and very noticeable. And I think most Americans, especially people here in Florida, where I'm running the 25th district, are demanding some change. People want a restoration of freedom. They want economic opportunity. They want safety. And these are all the things that I'm running to help America and Florida with. I want to bring what I've learned and what what I grew up in, an ideal America that was founded on freedom. I think it's time for a restoration of that freedom back in Florida, and people, they're sick and tired of the career politicians, and they're ready for that change.
Yeah. So you've had this career in business, and then what was the defining moment where you're like, that's it, like no one's stepping up, I'm going to do it?
It's kind of funny. Growing up, you see politics, there's an air where, everything seems so scripted, and you think that, well, it's impossible to do anything. I support Trump, but before he was elected the first time, when he had that upset and won the presidency in 2016, I think most Americans saw that, wow, something, you can be an outsider and do something. And I think that was the first time in my lifetime I've ever seen something like that. And for me, I was like, maybe you could do something. And in my business career, in life, I've learned, that old, fundamentals are always true. There's no magic to success. It's always the fundamentals. And 90% of success is really just showing up. And I think it takes just good people to not stand by idly and just to stand up and participate. And that's what I'm doing. I'm going to do it my best. I'm participating. I'm throwing my hat in the ring.
Yeah.
And I think if enough good people do that, we're going to have a different country very soon.
So you're in business for years. You probably learned a lot about people management. Do you think that is something that uniquely qualifies you, bringing that business experience? Like, you didn't just go to school and learn just the politics. Like, you understand people.
Absolutely. I mean, business, and especially entrepreneurship, where you're starting a business from just an idea, there's a lot of creativity, but it's really all about human resources and understanding people's talents, what people are good at, what people are bad at, and developing people, making them become better at what they're doing. I think being able to build and have that experience is much different than what we see in most of the politicians today. It takes business people, I think, to really solve problems, because the tool that most politicians have is just increase taxes to solve problems, when that hurts everyone. And we've done that for so long that we're getting to a point where everything's unaffordable, from housing to homeowners insurance in Florida, which is especially a big problem. Now, health insurance, everything in life that's now been subsidized. Basically, people just, with the pen, increasing taxes. And yeah, we have these great things, but the quality of life and the people to be able to actually build wealth and be able to afford life has become almost impossible.
We know where you are now and what you're working towards and trying to solve. Let's go back just a little bit.
Sure.
Did you always have an interest in politics?
No. I've always had an interest in history. And I'd say, in my early 20s, I started just reading a lot. The internet started coming up, iPhone came out. And so you have more exposure to ideas and information, because you don't learn everything in school. Everything's textbooks, but everything, I started learning about other things like the Federal Reserve Act and how that came about. And a lot of things that, we just take as fact that this is the way it's always been, but really it's been a slow evolution of our freedoms being eroded away, from financial freedoms to economic, to safety, to simple things, or basic freedom of speech. Everything's been eroding. And you can see those patterns decade after decade, and it's due to politicians that really don't care about the American people. It's all about, when you start looking at the Constitution and the country that our founding fathers created, it was all about putting the individual first, individual liberty, so that everybody can experience their version of the American dream. And we've been losing that, and we need to restore those freedoms, and we need to basically put America first in everything we do.
One of the things that you're running on with your campaign is this restoration of free speech. So what are you seeing like on the back end? Like you're in the space now, liberties are being stripped. Like, where did your heart come from, like, for that topic? But then also, like, what are you seeing on the back end where they're actually stripping these liberties?
I think we've all seen it to a lesser degree, but during COVID, it was in everybody's faces. And I think we've always accepted a certain amount of corruption in our government, but during COVID, I think we all understood that the corruption was way bigger and more intense. The amount of coordination of corruption throughout the whole world we saw it with Twitter, the censorship. The CEO was on Joe Rogan talking about how we have free speech, but he lied. Jack Dorsey, he lied, saying that we have free speech platform. And then it turns out, as soon as Elon bought it, turned it to X, we found out the government was censoring everything they were doing. Caused potential deaths and COVID deaths, all types of things. And we're seeing people being thrown in jail for memes in the UK, in Canada. It's crazy that people aren't able to express their own ideas, which I'm really excited. I'm thankful that Elon Musk has control of X now, because even though many of these countries may not have freedom of speech, they at least now have exposure to free ideas. And I think that is something that Elon's actually being able to export from America, the idea of freedom of speech, which I hope can actually empower the whole world over time.
As you're moving into politics, are you stepping away from business, or are you still going to be working in businesses and managing?
I have to step away, because number one, it'd be unfair to the people that vote me in if I was doing something else. I love business. I don't have hobbies. My hobbies are creating and building businesses. That's what I love to do. But if I'm going to do something, I'm going to hyper focus on it and make sure that I win and I'm very successful at it. Everything I've learned in business, I'm going to apply to Congress.
What do you think is the biggest lesson that you've learned through entrepreneurship that you're going to take into politics? Persistence.
In entrepreneurship, in business, there's always things going wrong. People are always worried about, this can go wrong, that go wrong. I've learned in business, you don't have to worry about it wrong. It will go wrong. So you have to be prepared. It's a lifestyle to just deal with the problems every day. And you have to be persistent. No matter what influences are you from the outside, what pressures you have obligations to perform no matter what. And you have to be persistent and never give up.
What is your biggest message to Floridians, to people around the world watching this, who are looking at you and they're like, this is a huge pivot. This is a big deal. You're stepping into leadership. What is your message to those people?
The message is, we are in a transformation period in America and the world right now. And I know that America needs people who are able to solve problems, to build, people that are passionate about what our country stands for. And we're at a cusp where we have so many problems. There's pressures for global government. There's pressures for AI technologies, we're rapidly changing right now. And if we don't have good people step up, we're going to end up in a position where bad people are in control. And we see fights like that happening. For example, in New York City, we have a communist who's good chance is going to win.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that's not the case, but that is the antithesis of what America is. Many people came to this country to flee communism. And now we have homegrown communism right here in the biggest city in America.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking. I think we need to do everything we can to put passionate people into office who love freedom, who are entrepreneurs or can bring something to the table besides just being a politician.
What do you think is driving these people who are looking at what's going on in New York and they're so excited to vote something like that in?
I don't think it's complicated. I think you have, number one, a lot of immigrants to this country who are even the ones who come here legally, they're not here long enough, or they don't have the foundation of what freedom is, or what the United States as a republic is, a constitutional republic. So the idea that you can work hard and accomplish the American dream is not an idea that most foreigners understand. So when you grow up here, that is part of your value system. So people don't understand that socialism is very easy. Oh, free this, free buses, free food. It sounds great, but what's the cost? And hundreds of millions of people around the world can tell you how bad communism is. But when you have decades of eroding freedoms, of economic opportunity, college graduates ending up with thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loan debt that they can never pay off, mortgages that they can't attain, the American dream for the next generation doesn't exist or seems completely unattainable. So the idea of socialism is very attractive, because how else are they supposed to get by in the world if they can't get by the traditional way of American way of doing 9 to 5 and go to college and saving? If that doesn't exist, the alternative is socialism and communism. So we need to fix the root cause of the problem.
And you have dealt firsthand with communism with your wife, is that right?
Yes, yeah. So my wife came here. She immigrated legally from Cuba. She came when she was 6 years old. Her family came. Her grandfather was a political prisoner for 23 years in Castro's jails. Firsthand how bad communism really is. Yeah. And many Americans who don't have that firsthand experience, or this next new generation doesn't understand what communism did to Eastern Europe or other parts of the world, they don't understand the dangers that are really right around the corner.
There is a lot of moving pieces here in Florida, and I would love to hear your thoughts on alligator Alcatraz.
I believe in the idea of legal immigration in this country, but what we had was 4 years of the Biden administration with open borders. I saw recently there was over 5,000 terrorists that were actually given IDs, and once they came in, 476,000 unaccompanied minors that have gone missing. I mean, I just want to repeat that number. 500,000 kids gone. That's the size of a whole city of the kids gone. So that is horrific. It's unacceptable in this country. There needs to be a process to go back and do a look back on who came here. Yeah. Make sure they go through the right processes. Should they be here? Are they criminals? Are they traffickers? Are they cartel members? Yeah. We don't know who's here. I mean, there's terrorists that have come here now, and we don't know who they are. And we need to go back, and we need to protect our country. We need to protect the people that are here. One of the results of the open borders is that we now in Broward County have 47 active gangs. My opponent, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, lobbied for that. She wanted open borders. She was the poster child for the defund the police. And now in our own county, we have 47 active gangs, violence every day. So you can tell that these policies that have been put in place, you call them, left-leaning, they're socialist, communist policies that have actually taken away our freedoms of economic opportunity. They're devaluing our currency. Cost of living is going higher, and we're not safe in our own communities anymore.
What does the tangible steps look like to start fixing it?
I mean, right now we have the government shutdown, and here's the perfect example. The problem, the Democrats actually want to put $1.5 trillion in there, which is mostly going to foreign interest and paying for illegals. The reason they're doing that is because that's their voting base. Even the Democratic Party, people that traditionally voted Democrat are seeing how bad it is, that it's no longer the Democratic Party, it's the left-leaning socialist communist party. Yeah. So you have people that traditionally voted Democrat are now going as independent or voting Republican. So the only way that the Democratic Party can stay in power, like Debbie Wasserman Schultz, is by subsidizing for illegals to come to the United States, and that's the new voter base for the party. What's going on is saying, well, you can't do that because, first of all, they're illegal. They shouldn't be here. They shouldn't be counted in the census. They shouldn't be getting the free subsidies that American working class has to pay for, because that ultimately takes money out of your pocket, my pocket. It makes it harder to live while the people that get subsidized are actually having better quality of life because they get all this free stuff without having to work.
We're going to take a really quick break here to talk about something that matters deeply, and that is our health and our freedom to take control of it. I've been a member of Jevity for months now, and that is a company that is revolutionizing how Americans approach their health. They understand that true prosperity isn't just about economic growth, it is about empowering individuals to live their best, healthiest lives without breaking the bank or without jumping through endless hoops. Jevity is fighting to restore something that we have lost in traditional healthcare systems. That is accessibility and root cause approaches, and also the quality care that actually puts you first. Here's what makes Jevity different. They actually offer in-depth lab works that test over 100 biomarkers, and they give you a complete picture of your health. And here's the best part. They actually bring a mobile phlebotomy right to your door, so you never have to leave your home for testing. But it doesn't stop there. Jevity also provides ongoing telehealth care with dedicated health professionals who work with you to optimize your health based on your very unique biomarkers. There is no more guessing what supplements you need to take. There is no more insurance nightmares. There is no gatekeepers here. There is just cutting edge optimized health optimization, and that is actually in reach for every single day Americans. As a Jevity Plus or Plus RX member, you will get discounted rates on all of your supplements, even peptides and specialty testing. This is elite level preventative care. It's made accessible and affordable because here is the truth. When Americans are healthy and they're thriving, that's when we are at our strongest. And that is the kind of prosperity that is worth fighting for in all of our daily lives. If you are tired of a healthcare system that feels like it is working against you, go check out Jevity. They are doing something majorly different. They're doing something that is better. Go to gojevity.com and use the code Robbi at checkout. You will get 15% off of your first membership purchase. What do you think about what's going on with the government shutdown right now?
I think, it's exactly that. I think it's the Democrat Party that are, the Chuck Schumer, W. Washington Schultz, the people that are depending on the legal vote.
Yeah.
Which is, they're trying to subsidize and they're protecting their voter base because they're losing ground very quickly. We have redistricting going on in a lot of different states, especially here in Florida, because we had COVID. We have so much mass migration from all the states here, and they don't want to lose ground. So they're playing games because they want to hold on to and they want to bring in more illegal votes.
When you zoom out and you're sitting here in this seat, you're stepping into politics and you're looking at it probably the same way you would when you go into a business. Where do you start to actually fix this? What's the first steps and what is your campaign working towards?
Our campaign is working towards our message and getting the people in our district to hear that message and be able to show up to vote and have a better choice than W. Washington Schultz. In business, and I think this applies here in politics, anywhere in life, is that you have to focus on the tangible end goals, because everything else outside of that is noise. You have a lot of things in media, you have a lot of news spins and all types of attacks, but at the end of the day, it's all noise, and you need to focus on what actually matters and execute on the messaging and help the people of the district and help America. You can't get distracted by politics, really. Mm-hmm. You have to focus on actually achieving your goals.
Do you think that there's more good in politics than bad?
It's both. The thing is, good people, the average good person doesn't pursue politics. They want to take care of their family. They want to work hard. They want to save. Politics, especially for career politicians, is a pursuit of power. Traditionally, it was supposed to be a sacrifice. You're supposed to give back to your country, to your community. Yeah. And we've lost that. And now you have career politicians, and they use it for their own benefit. That's why you have all this insider trading. You see Nancy Pelosi, W. Washington Schultz. They're all insider trading better than most hedge fund managers. Because they don't have any other way to make money but to exploit their position. That's all they know. But this is supposed to be a sacrifice to give back to your country. So I think we need to realign to the values our country was founded on and get good people in who actually can contribute something to benefit the country.
How do you balance it all? Like on a personal note, outside of all the business and all the things you do so many things. How do you do them in excellence?
Honestly, you don't. It's very difficult to have success and balance. Unfortunately, that's just the truth. I bet if you went to Elon or any Fortune 500 CEO, I bet you they always say their life is very unbalanced. Like I said, I don't have any hobbies. I don't have time for hobbies. I focus on my goals and my family, and that's it. Politics is another goal. I'm excited. For me, this is something new, but I genuinely want to help people. I want to help Florida. I want to help America because I've seen how far it's changed since I grew up, and I think that when you have freedom and you have that environment where there's economic opportunity, low taxes, protections, your Bill of Rights in America, everybody can benefit from a high quality of life. And if you have that, it's success for you. I mean, you have a better quality of life if all your neighbors have a better quality of life. For me, it's, being greedy doesn't actually help you in the long run. It really hurts everything. And that's what the career politicians are doing.
Do you think it's too late to get back to the quality that you're talking about? You're talking about this Broward County where you live. You're talking about 47 active gangs. Where do you start to clean that up?
Leadership. It all comes out from leadership, top down. And I don't think anything is impossible. Anything can be done. It's all about efficiency and execution and having leadership of people that are dedicated and passionate about what they're doing. And you look at the president of El Salvador, murder capital of the world, is now the safest country in the world. And that was one person that made that change. It's always one person that makes the difference. You
talk about family, you talk about restoration of freedom of speech, and you also talk about faith. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I was raised Catholic. I follow Christ. I really believe that faith and religion is something that's also been eroding from our lifestyle in America and really around the world. It has been changing, I would say, the last 5 years. The youngest generation now is now moving closer and closer to going back to church.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking to a friend of mine who runs a Catholic organization. He said that the Catholic church attendance is up about 300% the last few years. And it's the younger generation, the Gen Z people that are going. When we look at our country, our Constitution, our Constitutional Republic was founded on Christianity and on the principles of Christianity. It was God first. All of our founding fathers, our 13 colonies, believed in that. And no matter what the messaging is that we have in politics or what temporary, short-term bill there might be in, it's faith that is the eternal message that we can all live by. And if we have that first, the policies will also be in line with that faith. So if you put faith first, everything else is easy, but it's in line with the good values that you want to have your community establish.
You have to laugh. Like, stepping back, do you ever think when you were younger that God would call you into this space?
No, I don't know. I mean, for me, I was talking to somebody recently, and they said, what do you do? Why are you doing it? And, are you afraid about the tax and all that? And I told them felt like I was right with God and I was right with my family. So I chose not to have fear. And I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or next year or 10 years. All I can do is just show up and do the best I can every day. And I know good things will happen if I do that.
Yeah, you're walking out faith, and you're boldly sitting here and declaring it. That's going to shake America in the best way. So look, thank you. You got my vote. So look, thank you for sitting down with us today. I'm very honored. But people watching this, how can they support you? How can they get behind your campaign?
Our website is michaelcarbonara.com. Any support, we need the support of the people of the Florida 25th District. We need support with donations. We need support. Most importantly, next November, get out and vote. We need to show up to vote. That's the most important thing. More than money, more than yard signs, showing up to vote is a midterm year. So a lot of people don't like to show up midterm years, but it's crucially important. The midterms are so important. If we don't get in, if the Republicans don't win the midterms, we're going to look at Democrats impeaching Trump, and our progress has come to a standstill. So we need to get Debbie Wasserman Schultz out. Come vote for Michael Carbonara. Come to our website. Sign up to help out any way which you can. We appreciate it.